really great work. I'm Vincent Biello. I'm one of the co-organizers of this event, and I'm about to be hosting a Q&A with some of the filmmakers. So, would you please welcome in joining me to the dais, Alvia McGarry, Justin Kwok, Roar Whitman, Aiden Kiyosaka, Mimi Long, Ryan Gross, Frank Huff, and Jada Smith. Come on up, everybody. We only have All right. So why doesn't everybody get us started by telling me their name, the film they're a part of, and their age?
Hello, my name is Mackenzie O'Connor. I am the producer of, oh my gosh, Periwinkle. Thank you, everybody. And I'm 21 years old.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
Wow, crazy what happens when you turn on the microphone. My name is Olivia. I'm the writer and director of Something Blue, and I am 22 years old.
Hello, I'm Ryan Gross. I'm 22, and I'm the writer-director of Drive.
My name is Frank Huff. Oh, okay. Frank Huff, I directed and Hunted. 24.
My name is Roar Whitman. I'm 20 and I directed South of Houston.
Hi, I'm Mimi Long. I'm 21 and I directed and composed Regarding the Silence.
Hi, I'm Justin Kwok and I directed Black Belt and I'm 16.
All right, guys. I'm going to start with Olivia, since her film was first. First off, we all really loved it. Really just a genuine, a very genuine, emotional screenplay that you clearly put a lot of your own kind of thoughts into. Read your statement on Film Freeway. But really like a great just establishing of this melancholy tone. And then obviously there's this huge genre swing in the middle. And I just kind of wanted to go through your thought process behind that because I thought it was really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, so the genre flip, I always knew I wanted to make a zombie film for like my big thesis film, and I really just was trying to channel like the emotions that I was feeling at that time, like preparing for graduation and this whole life change and, you know, when you're getting older, marriage and all those things. So just putting together all of those feelings and then also putting a sick zombie disaster.
All right, good answer. All right, Justin, director of Black Belt. You, first off, really raw, just once again, very emotional. I think that kind of links all of our films here tonight, is the sort of genuine emotion behind all of them. But you, there's obviously the very strong use of color, black and white, this whole contrast that's happening throughout the movie. So can you just go into that for me?
So the black and white was used mostly as a tool to distinguish the present from the past. But it's also like a dark time in Jacob's life. It also goes red for a brief moment, representing all this anger. For this contrast between the present and the past, we were originally going to try to do something like warm color grading or cool color grading, but we decided on black and white. It also emphasizes the shadows and the lights a lot more, and I think it looked really nice in the end.
No, absolutely, it was a really effective decision. Okay, Rora, south of Houston. Sorry. You mentioned in your Film Freeway post that Michael Mann was a massive influence, and I think that really just shines through in this whole film. Mise en scène, the kind of smoky, sexy, sleek little, like, everything's very warm, very grainy, very pretty. And just, can you kind of speak on how you captured that mise en scène?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that I sort of was focusing on for capturing like the essence of Michael Mann, so to speak, I really wanted like that distinct color he has. It's very like punchy, very potent color-wise. And I also tried to do a lot of like static shots like on sticks to sort of help emphasize his like very 80s grungy style of filmmaking. But for me, the most important part was really getting that like texture look down of film. So we used some filters and stuff like the Pro Mist and some other ones as well to sort of achieve that like softening quality, especially in the restaurant scene. But yeah.
All right. Okay, Mimi, director of Regarding the Silence. It's obviously a very political film. It's very, it's kind of like a DIY version of like Daisies, if anyone here has seen that, and it really worked for me on that level. And just, obviously you wrote and composed the song, that's a key part of the whole thing, it's a music video. Can you just like walk me through where in the process, was it a song first, was it a video first, what kind of happened for you?
Yeah, it was first a song that I then like kind of adapted into being a video. It was actually a student project for a while, but I ended up creating it for a charity auction for Ukraine. I mostly make like performance art films and things like that, so they're more stylistic than like narrative based. But that's kind of how the concept originated, was through the song at least.
Okay, yeah, the style like really shined through, just
Thank
the
you.
projector, yeah, of course, absolutely. All right, Ryan, director of Draft. Aiden from Torrent is not here, by the way, correct? Is Aiden from Torrent here? No, okay. Drive, just an incredibly directed sort of, I really like that the first kind of 5 or 7 minutes, you don't really show your hand in regards to the supernatural stuff. You kind of let the tension build before you start pulling that thread, and it kind of all just unravels from there. It starts as very tense, tight drama, but then eventually just ends with demons and hallways and all of that. And it's just sort of walk me through your how you kind of got to that point, or like your directing style, really, because I think the eye is really there for this film.
Thank you. So I have a lot of inspiration from Spielberg. Spielberg is someone that I've grown up watching my whole life, from Jaws to E.T., Close Encounters. So I was started young, and I feel like having that inspiration from a young age has really helped me to sort of cultivate kind of my own directing style over the years. Yeah.
All right. Now on The Hunted. This is such a like meticulously directed film, and I'm really just curious as to like, was it storyboarded? Was this planned? Was there any sort of like, I didn't feel like there was room for a lot of improv on the set. It felt very tight and meticulous, and just kind of like, is this kind of what you envisioned in your mind and you just made it happen?
Kind of, sort of, but it's so funny because the actual process was the opposite of every word you just used. We shot the entire thing in one night. I wrote the script that afternoon based off of an outline me and my cousin had written the week prior. My cousin acts as the guy, and the killer's my brother, which, he's only on screen like, 20 seconds. We basically just worked like dogs. It was really just a matter of, okay, here's a frame that I like, let's shoot that, let's try this whole run through of the scene again from a different angle. And we did that about, I want to say I had like probably 20, 21 angles total. Because it was easy to do in a night comparatively, because of how short it was. So it was meticulous in the sense of, I'm a perfectionist. I wasn't like happy until I was like, I don't know what other angles I can think of. It was really just came down to the editing, to be honest.
That's so shocking because all the shots just seem so planned. They all kind of
thank
flow
you.
into each other naturally. No? Of course. Mackenzie, hello. You were the producer of Periwinkle, correct? So what really sticks out to me about Periwinkle is just how lived in the world feels, and how just like it is this big revenge thriller, a lot like politically charged revenge thriller, but you have this very grounded character, very grounded performances, a very grounded look, but also there's a lot of style on display there. So can you just like walk us through the production of Periwinkle? I keep saying walk us through. Can you just go through the production of Periwinkle for us, because it feels like such a complete world.
Yeah, so I think Jada had a very like complete vision. Jada Smith is the director of Periwinkle. She had a very like distinct vision of what she wanted. So it was about kind of just finding places that would work for us, that kind of fit into this world. So a lot of them was going out and looking for these locations and looking for these actors, and really, I think something that Jada is extremely good at is really like executing her vision and what she wants. So if she has something in mind, she'll tell us and we'll make it happen for her. And she's very clear about what she wants. So like for the costumes for all of the diner girls, she knew exactly what she wanted, and like we were able to put that together. So, like, and for the diner, we went to a bunch of different diners to try to find what would work for us and places that would let us do that, because it's about like collaboration with the community, and being able to tell our story the way that we want it to be told.
All right, we're gonna open the floor to questions. I don't know who's running the mic, but okay, Chris is running the mic. Just raise your hand if you have a question and go ahead and ask.
Hi, fabulous work, everyone. My question is, you know, I'm a filmmaker myself, and I feel like I put so much of myself into my work, but some of my filmmaker friends are like, I like my art being something completely separate of myself. Like, I wouldn't want a story about my own life or a song about my own life being like in my oeuvre. Like, how much of yourself and your experience do you put into your art, or do you completely separate that?
Anyone can feel free to answer this.
Okay, I guess I'll start. It depends on the project. I like very much personal work, but it depends. Sometimes it's personal in the sense of just stylistic choices that I really resonate with. Other times it's like literally a story that happened to me. So it varies. I mean, in music, I do music and stuff too on the side, but that's neither here nor there. It's a lot harder to avoid the personal sides. In film, it's a lot more of an open canvas kind of thing, at least for me.
So I kind of agree with that, to tack onto your point. I feel like every film that I work on has like a piece of me in it because it's my idea and it's sort of my vision. But I feel like the thing where it comes in most is the dialogue. Like, I feel like sometimes I have to stop myself from writing how I talk, and like that's the hardest part of getting out of that headspace like this.
For Black Ball specifically, this film was kind of like a hyperbolic take on an event that actually happened in my life. I used to do martial arts, and my instructor was quite odd, not necessarily abusive, but kind of odd. And everyone on my team, my two friends, Maddie and Ralphie, they also both did martial arts, and they also quit. And I think this whole idea of sports being like putting pressure on people in these specific ways, I really wanted to like emphasize that in my film, so yeah.
All right, next question.
Hi. Okay, I have two questions. So for Black Belt, what inspired, I mean, kind of dwelled into that, but was there anything else that inspired you to make that film?
So it was mostly the what I just talked about, my old instructor. I mean, he wasn't abusive at all, he was just odd. But like other films that I watched and I'm like, ooh, that's cool, I'm gonna take inspiration from that. There was The Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, Whiplash was also a huge inspiration. I love Whiplash. And overall, yeah, it was just most of that, yeah.
Yeah, because it reminded me of Whiplash, you know, so I was and there's a question I heard yesterday. What inspires you guys to like keep making films? To just keep going, you know?
I guess I'll start with that. Honestly, I can't really do anything else. I'm kind of, I'm serious though. Like it's like, I like, it's true though. I mean, like it's sort of like there are many things that are able to be done in life, but I feel like making films and like telling stories is one of the coolest things you can do because there's so many different things you could do with it. And so it's kind of hard to fail every time. So, you know, once in a while you hit something and you're like, oh, this is pretty good. And then, so there's just nothing else I want to do or can do. Again.
I was just gonna jump off of that. Exactly the same, but even further. It's like, even if there is something else I can do, I kind of don't want to find out at this point. That's where I'm at, yeah.
I think for Jada and I, it's about telling stories that need to be told. It's about, there's so many stories out there that don't get a voice. So if we can, you know, take one story and make a film out of it, and you know, be able to share it with the world, I think that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I'll say for me is that it's such a fun process being in film. It's such an avenue for so many different creative outlets that you can put into it. And it really just boils down to, it can be so much fun, but again, everyone also has their own like very distinct voice that they can contribute to the world. And I think that that's also a really powerful thing that really encourages me to also want to continue to put things out there. That with fun, it's just like, it's great.
Next question.
For the director of Drive, how did you get the overhead shot?
So I purchased a Mavic Mini 4 drone and I used it for Drive because more than anything, I just wanted a drone and a new toy. And I got that and I got to use it for my project, which was pretty cool. So yeah.
For the director of Something Blue, what did St. Timothy's Church, what did they say when you were going to when you told them you were going to make a zombie movie?
I was honestly surprised. They were like super like involved. They were like, "Can we get our like members to sit in? Can they watch?" They were really nice about it, and the pastor even came halfway through the day, and he brought his little son, like 8 years old. He's like, "They're making a movie," so they were really nice.
For everybody, I just wanted to know where you pick your actors, because they all seem to be very well chosen and seem to really represent the parts that they played. And none of you are in them, except for your little brother there.
And my cousin.
Oh, and your cousin.
So
okay.
that answers that for mine anyway.
How do you cast? Yeah, how do you cast? Where do you get these people from?
Backstage.com.
Oh, okay. And they're mostly willing, right? They jump at it. Okay.
Especially if you pay them.
Oh, they get paid?
Sometimes.
Okay, awesome. Well done.
Any other questions?
Yeah, my actors were my friends, and we were in school together, and I'd recruited them for a couple projects before that for class, and when it came down to it, I trusted them. I put out a big audition thing on my Instagram. Handful of people auditioned for the roles, but when it came down to it, I'd worked with them before, and I knew that I could work with them easily, and that they would give me what I was looking for and just be very directable. So I went with the people that I knew best.
For my film, I'm only in high school, so I don't really have access to like this whole world of like actors and everything. So I was in my film, my friend Maddie was in the film, and not my friend Ralphie, another friend of mine, Troy, he was also in the film, and my film teacher, he was the main antagonist of my film. And it's nice because my film teacher had to explain to the Board of Ed why he was beating up a child.
having to follow that up as being the main antagonist. But I'm just curious, with seeing such a wonderful student that I have there, what everybody else's path has been to get here. Did you do film in high school and college, and where was that?
I suppose I'll start. So Jada and I just graduated from LIU in their film department. I know personally, I actually moved to New York to be an actor, and then I went into film. I believe Jada's been doing film since high school. She's always been a director and a writer, so I think she just started in high school and then kept creating, and then she went into film. So.
For me personally, I joined like a film summer camp, like 6th grade, and then eventually when I got to high school, we had a really great film program, and ever since then I've just been on the track of film, went to Hofstra, and now I'm here.
For me, I was definitely an iMovie kid in elementary school, just like making the dumbest things you've ever seen before, and it was something I always loved, but it wasn't until my 2nd year of college that I realized that it was something that I wanted to pursue, so I switched majors my sophomore year, and it's been a great journey since then.
First off, I kind of guessed LIU, but I thought I was tweaking because I went there. And so I was like, is that the equipment room the whole time? But here we are.
Equipment room, yes,
Yeah,
you're correct.
It was well hidden, I just know the room. But anyway, so for me, so 9 years old was when I realized this was what I wanted to do. I saw Jaws for the first time with the same cousin who acted in this. And literally the minute the movie ended, he and I were like, oh, well, we have like a rubber shark toy and a little camcorder, so we filled up the bathtub with that first video ever, and it was like a bug bit me. I ended up doing short films and little stop motions with my Godzilla action figures or whatever. And then in high school, I was lucky enough that my school had a film class, and from there went to LIU. I've done editing jobs, and I was assistant camera on a Netflix documentary fairly recently. But I hadn't actually made a short for myself since my senior thesis 3 years ago, so this was a very big, well, frankly, great to be here kind of a moment. I don't know how else to put that. It was good to get the rust off again, and hopefully just keep on making stuff.
So when I was in 11th grade, this summer after 11th grade, I did this film program in DC. And I came back and I wrote my first feature that summer, and I haven't stopped writing since. And currently I'm in my last year at the New York Film Academy, working on my thesis, so yeah.
I'm actually a multimedia artist. I work in many different formats, but video is definitely one of them. Film necessarily, like large format films aren't necessarily where I'm leaning towards, but I love making videos of all different kinds and working in videography and photography and all sorts of different things. I'm a Pratt student. I'm in my 4th year, but I'm not a film major. I'm a multimedia artist, yeah.
I just started this year. I kind of just started doing film because my friend was doing it and she really wanted me to do it also. But I've always been like interested in like telling stories, and I have been video editing for a very long time. So yeah, I guess that's just kind of how it all started, yeah.
All right, everybody give it up for our filmmakers one last time. Please join us for our awards reception in the cafe immediately following this event. And yeah, thank you so much for coming out. It's been a great event, and yeah, we're happy to have you.